In this presentation, I will guide you through the steps of mimicking a website using Dreamweaver, CC, and HTML5 coding. A student has provided a URL for us to use, mesoblue.com. The first thing we need to do is to measure the elements on the page. In the end, we're not going to make an exact replica, we're just mimicking, we're just kind of going along with the flow of the design. There are some elements in this design that would take us a while to mimic, such as the, I don't know if you can tell, this rule that goes all the way around. That's actually done through division work, and it's multiple division work. Although we might be able to recreate it, it would just take a little bit too long to do that. I think that's something for us to explore at a later date. For now, we'll concentrate on the basics. We will recreate the banner. We will use this logo. We'll have a photo here. We will not have to program the photo slide. Looks like that's a Flickr embedded image. We're not necessarily going to program an RSS feed here. We'll just probably drop the text. We'll work on this tab, the content and the article, the other post at the bottom, and we have a footer with a navigation element at the bottom. So first, let's measure this site. Rather than using the pixels that we've been using before, I have made a PNG image of this website using a tool that I've told you about earlier, the screen capture add-on to Chrome. I have already loaded it onto Photoshop. This is a PNG image of the website that was captured. It's at 100% and my measurements are in pixels, and I'll be using a couple of basic tools in Photoshop to get the measurements. First, let me zoom in a little bit to the top left corner, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the rulers. Right now the 0 point is way off to the side, but I want it to be right here where the corner of the website begins. First, I will grab a ruler from the left side here. This will be our horizontal scale. I'll bring it in and put it right on top of the edge of this side, right about there. I will do the same with the vertical axis. I'm going to bring this down and drop it to where I think this is going to begin, like maybe right about there. And now we'll bring my 0 point from the corner to this corner, so that now my 0 point begins at the corner of the banner. I'm going to slide down to the other side. I will bring in a ruler from the left side again, and you'll see that I'm going to go all the way to 960 pixels, which is a standard size. We've used 960 before. The El Centro page is at 960. So now I'm looking at it from a distance. Looks like everything fits within those boundaries. I'm going to come in again to the banner. I'm going to bring down another ruler, and it looks like it's at about 90 pixels, so that's a good size for this banner. Let's see what we got here. We have it probably going down to 100 pixels to hit the image on the side. I'll bring another ruler down to measure this box. 54, 354 sounds good. I'll bring across another x-axis. Looks like 646 or so. I'll consider this later. I'm gonna bring this down to this box so that we can measure this box later. Bring another ruler here, and one right below the older posts, and then one just on top of our footer, and finally one at the very bottom. Like I said, these are here just for references. If we were doing some serious Photoshop designing, we could actually start to slice the images and build a page just off of this screen capture. But since this is a Dreamweaver class and not a Photoshop class, we're going to do it the long way. All we need from Photoshop now is to give us the measurements. I'm going to use a marquee tool to draw a square and Let's see what the info on that square is. We're currently at 960 by 91. I'm going to round this off to 960 by 90. I'll start to take down this information in my notepad and make sure that it's on top. And our banner will be at 960 by, say, 90. We also have an element inside. Looks like it's probably around 15 pixels high. This box for the logo, I'll measure, it's going to be about 235 by, we'll call it 65. Next we have this navigation element, and I'm just going to make a lot of assumptions about this. I'm going to draw a box around it and figure that whenever I'm ready to put the code down for this, that I can figure it out. It's at 355 by 29. So I'll say top navigation is 355 by 30. Next we do the recent entries, and I did not draw a box here, but let me bring it down now. 344. This space looks to be 444 by 243. So we'll call this whole area, that is from left to right, the top content, and we will have recent entries at 444 by 243. Next to it we have our slideshow, and the slideshow is at 506 by 243 as well. Next we have our main content box. I'm going to concern myself mostly with the width and not so much the height, since that will be variable according to whatever content we'll be adding. We can locate the artificial margins by guiding ourselves with this box at the bottom. I'll bring in some extra rulers and measure the width of this box. It's at 597, so give or take it's about 600. And we'll say that our content, let's call it main content, is 600 pixels wide. Next are older posts. This may be a set box, set in its size. I'm going to just measure from right above where older post begins and say that this is about 600 by 283. We'll add some extra space later for our browse archives. And finally our footer, which is at 960 wide, will be about 50 tall. So we have our footer 960 by 50. Those are the measurements. We now move on to Dreamweaver so that we can start to set up this file. And we will be setting up the elements in the next video.